Okay, so today we are not crying. We have done that already in the last two episodes. Today we are reflecting with a little sarcasm and a lot more clarity. I want to talk about something I think we have all done at some point. Staying in a relationship that was very obviously not working. Like, very obviously. Have you ever been in a relationship where you know it's over? Like, not dramatic over, not one big fight, just quietly, clearly, internally over. And yet, you're still there. Same person, same conversations, same goodnight texts, but no connection. And you're just sitting there like, so what exactly are we doing here? I have been in a relationship where I felt stuck, financially stuck, mentally stuck, and somehow emotionally invested in something that was giving me the bare minimum. And let's just say this relationship was not exactly thriving. There was no real connection, there was no respect, and honestly, no intimacy either. So basically, vibes were non existent. Like your life is intertwined in a way that leaving doesn't feel simple. So you tell yourself, it's fine, it's not that bad, I can manage. But deep down, you know you're not really living, you're just maintaining. And the funny part, I knew something was off. But then there is that phase where the relationship feels more like a habit than a connection. You're talking but not really communicating. You're together but not really close. And intimacy, emotionally or physically, it just fades. And instead of questioning, you normalize it. You're like, maybe this is what long term relationships look like or feel like. But no, that's not it. That's what disconnection feels like. But did I leave immediately? Of course not, because I had hope. Hope is a very interesting thing. It makes you stay in situations where logic has already packed its bag and left. You start telling yourself things like, maybe it will get better, maybe he's just going through something, maybe I'm expecting too much. And at some point, you're not even in the relationship anymore. You are in your own imagination of what it could be. So, why did we all stay? I think it's a mix of things like comfort, fear, attachment, and a tiny bit of hope that maybe things will go back to how they were. And also, leaving means change, and change means uncertainty. And uncertainty is scary. Even if what you are in right now isn't making you happy. So you choose familiar discomfort over unfamiliar freedom. To be fair, I didn't stay because I loved suffering. I stayed because leaving felt complicated. When you are financially tied, when your routine is built around someone, when your mind is used to adjusting, walking away doesn't feel empowering. It feels convenient. And apparently, we tolerate a lot just to avoid inconvenience. But at some point, something shifts. For me, it wasn't a big dramatic moment. It was just this quiet thought like, is this really it? And that question, once it enters your mind, you can't unsee things anymore. You start realizing you're not actually afraid of being alone. You're afraid of starting over. And once that clicks, everything starts to feel different. Because staying suddenly feels heavier than leaving. Suddenly, you're noticing everything: the lack of effort, the lack of respect, the lack of literally everything that makes a relationship. And you're just sitting there like, wow, I really romanticized this, didn't I? Here's what I have learned: bare minimum will keep you confused, not fulfilled. And a relationship without respect, connection, or intimacy is not something you can fix. It's something you eventually walk away from. If you are in something right now and you keep saying, maybe it will get better, just ask yourself, is it actually getting better? Or are you just getting better at tolerating it? If you have ever stayed in something you already knew was over, you're not weak. You were just trying to hold things together in a situation that was already falling apart. But there comes a point where choosing yourself is the only thing that makes sense. I stayed longer than I should have, but I also left when I finally stopped lying to myself. And honestly, that was the real glow up. So, yeah, if you're stuck on something that's already over, you're not crazy, don't think like that. You're just human. But also, don't let your emotions keep you in a story that your reality has already ended. Because some chapters are meant to stay closed, even if you still reread them in your head sometimes. Anyway, healing, but with a little bit of sarcasm now. I'll see you in the next episode.